Welcome to Seasoned and Unbothered. We're two women over 50 serving grown women wisdom with a side of humor because we've earned the right to say what we mean and mean what we say. Ready?
And
Welcome back to Seasoned and Unbothered. I'm Bern and
And I'm Tamika.
And today we're diving into a topic that's close to our hearts. What it means to say I do later in life as midlife brides. For some of us, marriage at 50 or beyond looks a little different than the picture-perfect fairy tale we grew up with. But trust me, it can be even better.
Yeah, so marriage over 50. So I am with a newlywed. I have been married it was our anniversary on the 27th. Our 2 months anniversary that we've been married on August 27th. We got married on June 27th. So very much a newlywed. And you've been married for how long now?
Almost 1 year. We are approaching 1 year. We are 2 weeks away from 1 year. We got married September the 14th, and it's coming up.
Oh my gosh, I feel like it just happened.
I know, it feels like it. I remember the first few months, it was really great. We were keeping up with the months, and then something happened and we got really busy, and then we're like, oh, okay. I was like, okay, I'll hit it at 6 months. But yeah, we're really excited. It's almost a year, and it's been interesting.
Yeah. So this topic is around both of us. This was my first marriage over at all, especially, being over 50. I can say that I never thought I would be married. So
Oh,
I
wow.
think to me, that is one of the biggest adjustments for me, first to even like wrap my mind around marriage. But 2 months in, and it's pretty good. I can't really complain.
Yes.
And I actually never even lived with a man.
Oh, see, you're better than me.
Man I've ever lived with too.
My husband and I both have been married before, so I think we were destined to get it right this time. I mean, we took our time. We dated for 15 years. We were engaged for like 7 of them.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't in a hurry. We were waiting for the perfect time, and we were in a committed relationship though. So it's been pretty interesting. Getting married felt different though, to be honest with you. I mean,
Different from the first time or just different?
No, different. Even our relationship just evolved.
Mm-hmm.
It really got better. It's like, I didn't think it could get any better because we knew we loved each other. We knew we wanted to be together. But it's something about, it was just, I couldn't even put my hands on it. I can't explain it. But I think I'm going to take a stab at it. I think it might have been like a true, like, another level of your commitment. There's no turning back. We're in this forever. And we both was very committed to like, this is it. Like, there's no reason to do this again if we don't believe in our hearts that this is forever. So just the love, it was just kind of, I think a man too, when you do say I do, he really takes ownership of you being, and for lack of better words, his possession, his prize, and like, I'm going to take care of you. I think it brings on something different in them. Like, this is my responsibility.
Yeah, that is what I think, not that it's a struggle, but to be independent for 49 years. So our story is a little bit different. We have known each other for 20 years, dated off and on for 20 years. And then last year, around your bachelorette party.
Yes.
July?
Yes.
July of last year, he had been reaching out since January, but I finally decided to respond back during that trip. And then when we got back from that trip, we went out to dinner. That was July. We were engaged by December 19th. Sorry, my bad. December 19th is when we got engaged. And then we were married by June 27th. So we really sped it up. And I felt like we needed to speed it up because we were in our 50s and we've known each other for so long. So,
well, I'm going to interject there because something that he said at your wedding is that he knew you were the one.
I know. He was
so when he came back on the scene, he was ready. He was ready.
He had to be ready. And I get where, and I never put through all of our, because I never thought I would be married. And it's actually funny. I'm just all of our business out there. I'm going to tell it. Was that from our first date, I remember he told me he had been married previously. He had told me he would never get married again. So
it was okay.
It was okay. So I'm like, okay, we're just going to have a good time. So never had I ever thought that he would change his mind. And we talked about that, like, and he's like, when you know, you know. And what I was saying 20 years ago was 30-year-old me. Now I'm mature and ready. And he really is ready. He's very, like you said, that whole ownership and tradition. And I was teasing my mother, just to kind of side. My mother the other day was like, oh my God, my electric bill is so high. And I thought to myself, I haven't seen an electric bill. I was like, maybe I should know what's going on in my house. I haven't seen a bill or anything. Like, he's very much about being a provider. And I actually really do appreciate that and love that about him. That's his love language.
I would say I haven't. I mean, I hear about the bill, but I haven't seen the bill. And actually, it's funny because I've been so independent. I was just this morning thinking about the things that I don't know that's going on that I feel like
I should know.
And I'm like, I've never been like that. I've always been the in control. I gotta know, I gotta whatever, have my say in everything. And he's the total opposite. He is, I got it. And it takes a lot for me to sit back and just say, okay, and not be concerned and not ask questions and whatever. So it's been a major adjustment for me to just say, you're going to trust this man with your whole livelihood. We have businesses together. We have businesses and now, like he controls the money. I don't have a problem with saying that. I mean, I have my money, but he controls the finances. And
two of you finances, but there's your separate finances.
We have some separate finances too, but he controls our finances. But it's just like the level of trust is like, I think about it, but I don't worry about it. But I think about it every now and then, like, you don't even know what's going on. You don't even know who to pay what. Like he does everything. You never see any of that. And before I used to be all into everything, right? Like I would know if you put the dollar out the bank account, right? And now I barely, every now and then, he's like, we can sit down, but we are working on, I want to be in the know. I don't want to have, God forbid, something happens and I have no idea of where to go, what to do. So I think on that level that a couple should share those things and be involved in those things. But I like the fact that I don't have to worry about it and that he takes care of everything. But I also want to make sure that if for some reason that something's going on, that he feels like he can share and talk with me about it and not feel like the burden is all on him. It's us together, and I want to be responsible on how I spend, what I do, so that we can, grow old and live well together. And again, and I know a lot of times I grew up where my mother didn't have to take care of anything. I think she just did the household things. Like she went grocery shopping and did all those things, and my father did everything. And I like that. But again, in this day and age, I just think both people should really, really be aware of what's going on.
I was like, let me be aware of what the bills are. You had mentioned that you had said something in your intro about that fairy tale. And did you ever feel the pressure growing up to be married by a certain age?
No, I didn't. I don't think I dreamed about, my life went so fast because I was a young teenage mother and, I I don't think I had time to dream and think of those things. And I don't know, growing up, I was like a little tomboy. So I wasn't thinking about girly stuff. I was out there playing basketball, doing all those things, playing football. Got a scar on my face for when I was a young girl. My mother made me quit playing football. I really love football. I was a great wide receiver. But but at any rate, no, I never thought about the fairy tale. I think I knew I didn't have great examples of healthy, loving marriages. My father died when I was 11, around 11 or 12, 77, somewhere. Yeah, I was 11. And that I was a daddy's girl, so that was very disruptive for me. And after that, I think my life has been turned upside down. I don't think I had any hopes and dreams or anything like that. It was just survival mode. So from there, no. But I know I wanted a real loving husband because I saw my mother with a man that was very mean and abusive to her. And so it was very important to me to find someone that was going to be really loving towards me. But marriage itself, no, I didn't. I didn't have that fairy tale. Did you?
Yes. I was definitely that one who was like married by 25, babies by 30. And I remember specifically crying on my 30th birthday that the plan hadn't come
to fruition.
Yeah. And that I was not married. I don't even think I was in a serious relationship at that time, and just being really depressed and sad about it at 30. And that's when I kind of made the like, okay, like it's not for me. It's not for me. And I'm fine with that. I will live the best single life that I could live. I have wonderful friends. Like I have a fulfilled life. And I never believe and I never subscribe to a man making your life complete. I think that, my husband has added and, but I don't subscribe to that.
Like when people say, "Oh, a man complete me," I think you can say that in a different kind of way, but you don't need. I used to always say, "I want to be with someone that I don't need, but I want," right? And not that they don't add, because of course a man adds to your life in a totally different way. One of the things to move on, one of the things that I found not challenging, and this has been the case, is building healthy communication early, like making sure that you communicate and you communicate in a healthy way, that you fight fair. Meaning, because trust me, I mean, if you never fight, then you're probably not in a real relationship, right? And not fight. I mean, I'm not talking about physical fight, but I'm talking about disagree.
You don't agree on everything.
Don't agree on everything, and it's okay, and still you don't lose respect because somebody doesn't agree with you. Just like learning how to communicate in a healthy manner, meaning he can really speak his mind freely and I can speak my mind. That has not been a challenge because we both communicate differently. He's more laid back and free going. Like for him to say something about something, it has to really bother him, right? And I'm the opposite. It hits me, I say it, right? And then, how we speak to each other, even when we're angry, it's a non-negotiable that you're not going to be disrespectful to me, even when you're extremely angry. And I am a true believer that out of the heart flows. When people are angry, they say what they really always wanted to say. So I'm like, don't say any cruddy stuff because you're not going to be able to take it back, right? And then people, I think it's the old saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That's a lie from the pit of hell. Words are powerful. Words can break you. Words can make you. Words can destroy you. People fail to realize when you put something in the atmosphere, words really carry a lot of weight.
Resonate. Yeah. Yes. I agree. I think us communicating had always been over the 20 years, I think has been our biggest challenge. And I think it finally got to a point where I really do think that we communicate better. I would have to say, I always bring up our zodiac signs. He's a Sagittarius, I'm a Pisces. And I would say that I have found that Sagittariuses are, I don't want to say, they're very blunt and they're very, I don't want to say mean with their words, but they're
direct. And sometimes directness
can be hurtful. And I'm a Pisces and I'm very sensitive. So we do have kind of an agreement around him just taking a step back and realizing that he needs to think about what he says,
how he delivers
how he
something.
delivers it, because he could think that because I am so sensitive and I'm trying to build up, not be so sensitive about it, but I am who I am and he is who he is. But I could say that he's really working on it, where sometimes he'll say something, his lips will still be moving, but no words will be coming out. It's so funny. Because he wants to say all the other things.
And then he realizes he can't say it. That's funny.
So it's so funny. And I'm like, okay, I was like, obviously you wanted to say more. But yeah, I think us trying to how we disagree, I don't want to say fight, but it's fight, how we disagree, how we communicate that, and then how we come together is something that we're continuing to work on. I think we're doing a pretty good job of it so far. But yeah, we had, there was one time where I was like, oh, this wedding ain't gonna happen. And we were both like, let's sit down and talk. It's just like, is this gonna happen? And we're, and it was over something so simple as disagreeing on it was so weird. It was what restaurant we were gonna go to. And I felt like he made a decision about a restaurant without consulting me. And it blew up into this big thing.
Right. I think some of that could go from them thinking that they are doing the right thing, I'm making a decision or whatever, and not realizing that we want to be a part of it.
I'm like,
right?
How dare you make a decision?
we have a funny running joke right now, and you guys may come back and call me on this in a couple of years. He wants a pool.
Oh.
I don't want a pool.
Yeah.
I want a jacuzzi. I just want a jacuzzi. He said, we're going to get a pool and a jacuzzi. And I'm like, I don't want a pool. And he wants a pool. And I told him, I said, I know one day I'm going to come home and they're going to be digging out there for a pool, because I already know that whatever he really wants, he sets his mind to it, and that's what he's going to do. Now, he knows how I feel about it. And so I'm just, I don't know. I'm embracing myself for
a pool.
how I'm going to feel, because it's like, if we disagree, like, would he pull the trigger without me really agreeing to it? And I don't know yet. And I don't even know if it would be a bad thing. It's just neither one of us really ever swims, but it's one of his lifelong dreams.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, maybe you should allow him to have that if he wants that.
That is so funny. Our next house is predicated upon a pool.
A pool in your community or a pool in your house? At your house?
At the house. So we are only looking at houses with pools.
Oh, wow.
Which is, and I know, because my mother has a pool, that it's just going to be something that we never use.
Well, I told him we don't use we entertain a lot. Yeah. And
I'm not here for that.
He's here for that. He loves entertainment.
I'm not.
He loves to entertain.
I want to be invited to these entertaining stuff.
Yes, he loves to entertain. And I'm like, we don't even swim like that. I probably would never even, not that I would never get in the pool, but it would be far and in between.
The water would be too cold.
Well, we don't have a heated pool.
Okay.
We would have to have a heated pool, right? We have to have a heated pool. Oh. But I would get in it, but I don't think I would get in it enough. Like, we don't have a pool now. We don't even have a pool in our community. Mm-hmm. When we go to a hotel, we rarely do we ever get in their pool. Or when we go to a resort, we go on vacation, we don't go to the pool. Because first of all, y'all see the melanin in my skin? I do not like sitting out in the sun. I don't want to be in the sun. I want to be in the shade. So how's that going to work?
Yeah, I think, yes, the same thing. I agree with the jacuzzi. I would love a jacuzzi.
That's what I said. Let's get a big jacuzzi, though.
A big jacuzzi, a pool, and I'm kind of funny. I'm like, I do want a sauna. We probably have to have one built.
Yes. I wouldn't really get in a sauna because of my hair and how I wear my hair. I do so much with my hair, whether I got a lace front, whether I got braids or whatever. I don't know if that would work for me.
It's not that bad for your hair.
No, when you're going to be sweating and stuff. Yes. So, and if I'm natural, it doesn't matter. I'm natural anyway. I don't know if I would do that, but we'll see. But communication is really important. I think those are the foundations of your relationship. And it's very important that you learn, again, to fight fair, calm down. When we were engaged, when we were close to the wedding, he was feeling very stressed. And I
wanted to talk about that.
Yeah. And I didn't recognize that at first. And then, because we had a budget number, and I kind of doubled the budget number, right? Because I didn't know what a wedding would cost. When I came up with this number, it was just...
saying what your original budget was?
It was $40,000.
Okay.
and we spent about 80 to 100.
Mm-hmm.
If you add in everything. There's a lot of stuff I bought that never made it to the sheet. but I don't know, I'm always over the top in some people's minds.
Did you always want it to? I would describe your wedding as big.
We thought we were going to do a wedding of about 75 people.
Okay.
I have a large family on my father's side.
How many people were? 200?
No, we had 150. Mm-hmm. And everything costs more, right? Because originally we thought about 75. And as we continue to grow, and like your vendors and stuff, they're like, yeah. And then they send you a new bill. Mm-hmm. And even our venue charged us more when we gave them the final number. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't expecting that. So everything just kept, and then I wanted a harpist and I wanted this, not a harpist, violinist. Mm-hmm. And then we cut him out. And then he came back and said, no, we can have him. But it was like, anyway, I noticed the stress. We were starting to get really, really at each other. Mm-hmm. And then he told me that he was stressed and that he couldn't sleep because I just keep on increasing the budget. And then I thought about it and I said, like, let's talk. And I was like, well, more importantly, marrying you is the most important part of this. Mm-hmm. All these other things doesn't really even matter. I made a mistake. Mm-hmm. I did not realize choosing a non-wedding venue was going to cost us so much more money. You had to
bring everything in.
We had to bring everything. We bought the really fancy portable bathrooms that didn't look like a bathroom. I don't even know if half of the people even saw it.
I did. It was wonderful.
They were beautiful. And we wanted to make sure that they were luxury bathrooms. Mm-hmm. The tent, we had to reserve a tent, even though we didn't use the tent, but we had to reserve it just in case. Mm-hmm. And then we had to make a final decision. God blessed us with the most beautiful weather. Mm-hmm. The decorator, that was probably, we spent more money on decorations than we did anything else. That cost us more than the food. Mm-hmm. So it's just like those little things. And I just didn't know, but now I know. Yeah. But I'm never getting married again because this is it, y'all.
Yeah, I think mine was very, very similar. My plan, I really just wanted to go to the Justice of the Peace. I wanted our parents to be there and I wanted our best friends to be there. And go to the Justice of the Peace. And then after the Justice of the Peace, we were going to go to Joe's down in DC because that's his favorite restaurant.
What is it?
Joe's.
Joe's,
it's
okay.
Clap House in DC. Have you been there?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm sure you have. And so we were going to do that and then go to Joe's and then that be that. And then he was the one who was really like, Tamika, we're in our 50s. We're in our 50s and we need, as just generally, people need to celebrate more. We don't celebrate enough. We don't get together enough. And your sister said something very similar to me that he said is that as we get older, we have a great community. Like, how do we bring people together more for celebrations instead of people getting together for sad things? Why don't people get together for big things? So it's like, okay. So instead of these 6 people, let's do like 20 people. And then it became 30 people. And then it became 40 people. And then it became 60 people. But I still got my Justice of the Peace, which is, I did not, And then we just had a dinner afterwards. And then we just went out a little bit after that. And then the next day, for some odd reason, we had a barbecue.
Well, a lot of people do that because you had a lot of people from out of town.
We had people from out of town. Yes. So we had a barbecue as well. But my budget also doubled from my original budget. First, I thought I could do it for $5,000, which everyone was like,
"Can you get the restaurant for that?"
Just doing Justice of the Peace, and that's it. And restaurant, that's it. So I was like, okay, let's do 15. And I think when it was all said and done, it was about 30.
Oh wow!
Yeah, 30. And that was the restaurant and the barbecue food.
Wow!
Like that's a lot of money. It's around 20.
I mean, and I think they both have maybe the same heart. Like for Thomas, also, we instead of having what's the night before meal.
What's it called? The rehearsal dinner?
The rehearsal dinner. Yeah. Well, we had so many people come in and because we got married an hour and a half away from here, right? In St. Mary's County. And we pay for the hotel for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. Anybody in our party, we pay for their hotel. We didn't want them to come out of pocket. We paid for their dress. Mm-hmm. We paid for all the tuxedos. We paid for everything because we didn't want people to spend money on coming to our wedding.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of having a rehearsal dinner, we said, okay, and I got this idea from my sister because they had a lot of people that came from out of town, their wedding, and they stayed in a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
So we paid for a meal. We had Mission Barbecue catered at the hotel because we wanted to make sure everybody ate and was comfortable. And like I said, we spent over $5,000 or $6,000, I think, for the hotel rooms. So we paid for a lot of rooms for a lot of people. But those are things that we wanted to do because we just wanted them to come and just have a good time. And we ended up transportation. I think I booked, they told me they was going to put us on, their transportation was a yellow bus. And I'm like, I don't want a yellow bus. So I ordered one of those limousine vans or like party vehicles or something. So again, it ends up being a lot more, but we talked our way through it. We got through it. And I think, again, communication, it was just key. And I think that's what anyone going into a marriage, just make sure that you guys can talk. Make sure that you understand each other's communication style. Because that would help you also not get as offended as much. Like your feelings might still get hurt.
I got to have a tough skin being married to this
man.
No,
but I think you can be who you are. And he can still love you. Of course, he loves you the way you are. So him being more understanding, I think it's all about grace and empathy, right? And just understanding. And I think I understand Thomas, like he gets really whatever. And then I'm telling you, like 5 minutes later, it's like nothing ever happened. And I'm the opposite, right? It takes me a minute. But one of the things that I committed to was not being spiteful, even when I'm angry. Like if we had something planned, I'm still going to do it. If I was cooking dinner, or not that I cook a lot, but anything, I'm like, whatever your situation is, whatever you're disagreeing about, let that be that, and not let it carry on into other areas of your relationship, right? Where you holding a little bit of a grudge because you mad or he's holding one. And I am quick to say, let's talk about it. And sometimes I have to wait till the next day just so I can think about it a little more. And I try to ask myself, okay, what is it about it that really bothered you? Did it really bother you, or did he call you out on something that you just didn't like? Because I found that sometimes we get angry when someone asks you about something that you just don't want to have to say you didn't do or you whatever, right? So I have to take ownership of my responsibility and like, what is the issue? What did you do? And is it something that you need to apologize for? But I might still have to call him on how he communicated it or whatever. Like, you are absolutely right. And I'm not taking anything away from that. But how you said that to me just didn't sit well with me. And trying to get him to, I don't want him to change, but I want him to understand that you have to care about what I feel and what I think and how you deliver things. Because I fight fair now. I learned. I used to let my mouth just go boom, 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 boom. I'm still very direct, but I try to make sure that my delivery is not mean and hateful, and that I'm not saying it to hurt you. I might be speaking the truth, but my goal is never to hurt you, to crush you, or to make you angry. Because a lot of times when people fight, it's about getting that last stab at the person. And that's why you say some of the things you say. First, it's like, how can we resolve this? How can we meet in the middle? Or sometimes we have to let some things lie down for a long time because we just disagree.
Not going to agree on everything, and that's normal.
It is normal.
No, we're still individual people.
Like, I got a bunch of magnets on my refrigerator. That's not my thing, but I learned to live with it. So this is another thing. Well, we kind of talked about it a little bit, but navigating conflict with empathy and grace, as I mentioned, I think that's very, very important. Because if you operate that way, I think it would get you through almost any situation. That's even in your personal life, and even in your professional life, right? But what about your love languages? Like, do y'all speak to each other love language? Do you understand his? Do he understand yours?
I definitely know his love language, and I think because we have been together for so off and on together for so long, I think that we are very much in tune with love languages. I think, like I said it before, he very much is about providing and feeling as if, and being like me, appreciating his providing for me and
you want to feel appreciated.
Yes, and thanking him.
So affirmation.
Yes, that's it. He loves affirmation. And I think that's why he loves, we have a cat too. a cat, if you don't, cats give a lot of affirmation. That's why I think he loves the cat too, because she shows appreciation when he's, so that is, and I think he knows that my love language is gifts. I love gifts. And I have to work on not using and he does not. So my love language is I like gifts. So sometimes you could assume that someone else is like, I want
a lot of people
gifts.
A lot of people operate in their love language
yes.
because they think that's what someone else responds to, but you really have to realize that every person is different. He does not
respond to gifts. And I think a lot has to do with also how he was raised. Gifts were a part of how he was raised. So I think just kind of understanding that my love language isn't his love language and trying not to use gift giving and really doing affirmation, which is what he really,
I think for me, I think I'm a combination. And it's funny because...
And I like touch. Sorry, touch too.
I was just about to say that, but I don't like to use the word. What's it when most men, when you say touch, they thinking, I think sexual, right? Right. Yes. And it was really funny because I was just thinking the other day, I was like, I was thinking about my love language and I was like, what is my love language? And I think I have, to be honest, I think I have a combination of 3 that are very dominant. All of them are like very strong. Mm-hmm. And one is really touch. And I think, but it's touch in a non-sensual way. I don't want to be touched in a sexual way. Mm-hmm. When I'm talking about this love language, mm-hmm. I want to just be, to me, to just put your hand on my hand, mm-hmm. put your hand on my leg if we're in the car, or just rub my neck. Yeah, or we're just sitting there to just touch fingers and all that kind of stuff. That means a lot to me. Mm-hmm. I love that. I love that so much. It feels, I don't know, it just deepens my affection and it just makes everything work for me. Mm-hmm. And then I think I like receiving gifts. And then I would say I like quality time, mm-hmm. but quality time is kind of, to me, with that whole touch thing, it's like, it's like ice cream to me. It's like, oh my goodness, this feels so good to just be with you. And it's funny because he's not so touchy in that kind of way. Mm-hmm. But I've noticed that he's been doing it a little bit more. And that's why it came to my mind the other day. I was like, oh, he's learning.
I want to say gift giving isn't necessary. Like, just want to be clear, like he bought me a purse or a pair of shoes. It's a thing where, this is a little story, is that I was out with some folks and they had crabs. And I was talking to them about the crabs and he was over listening to the conversation. And then the next day, this is before we got married, and then the next day he brought some crabs to the house. And I was like, I'm allergic to crabs. I forgot that part. He was like, but you were talking about the crabs with the people, like you wanted crabs. I was like, I was just trying to make conversation. I don't eat crabs. But like, those are the little things of gift. Like he was like, one day I was like, I've never had a crumble cookie. He came to my house with crumble cookies. Like just noticing.
Thoughtful. Yeah, just being very thoughtful.
Like actually listening to the things that I say and and then presenting those to me. Yeah. Yes, I would love a luxury handbag.
Well, I put those on my big list all the time.
But that's not, that's
all my luxury handbags, except for the one I bought in Paris.
Yeah.
I bought one in Italy too. But a lot of my bags, my Louis Vuittons and all those kind of bags, those are the things I asked for Christmas and all that. And he's like, and I was like, I wait on those things and be like, oh, I like this bag. But he's really good about getting whatever I want for my birthday, for whatever. Even we was just at the US Open and I was with my friends and I was feeling kind of bad because I kept losing him. And later he told me I wanted to talk about it. I was like, hey, I think you wander off too much. And he's like, no, I was trying to give you time with your friends because I'm not into tennis, y'all, so I don't want to sit there and watch a match. So he was wandering off, but he would go off and then he come back and say, oh, because I said I wanted the shirt. I said I wanted this. So he bought me all the things that I was mentioning. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I wasn't going to get all those things, but okay. Mm-hmm. And then we ended up getting this beautiful bracelet.
Oh, nice.
It's a tennis bracelet. I'm trying it out because I think it's not that it's too tight, but I have very sensitive skin. Yeah. And where the thing sits right here, it's irritating me. So today I put it on the opposite way because I had the ball going the other way to see if it's going to still bother me. But it was irritating me right here. So we did that, and I ended up getting, I got an ankle bracelet too. But anyways, it's fun. And when we go to places like that, I like it when I'm with him. I feel like I don't have to pull out my purse at all. And then I was like, oh, that's so cute. It's so to be taken care of.
We were just saying how men, how excited men get when women pay for something out of the blue. Sometimes I'll be like, oh, I got this dinner, babe. He's like, it's like 1 out of 1,000. And then he's like, but when you do it, it makes me so happy. I'm like, I've got the best wife ever. But she's like, but you just do it like 1 in 1,000. I was like, yeah, that's what we do.
That's so true.
Yeah. Or like I'll pay for a movie, every once in a while. But yeah.
Well, with him, if he say we going out to dinner, he'd be like, it's on you. And I'm like, yeah. And then most of the time he still pull out his wallet and pay for it. And I'm like, okay. I think it's just like knowing that you would, right? And this, knowing that you would. What about creating a shared home? How was that?
That's rough.
Like blending your styles and your routines.
Oh, the hardest part. That was the hardest part. We are so different in our aesthetics when it comes to home. So just to take a step back, I moved in with him. So I felt like being single for so long and having my own home, I felt like I had a very curated home aesthetic that I loved. And it was like my haven. Like I really curated a lot of that stuff. And it really was really hard to have to get rid of a lot of that stuff because of combining households. But yeah, that was tough. We do not have the same style. His style is very masculine. My style is more feminine. And I would say that was also probably one of the first kind of fights we had, was him saying that I was getting rid of all of his stuff, and and he would come home and stuff would be gone, and so that was one of the things that we really struggle with, and we struggle with which is why I think that we need to get a house where we're coming together and not me moving in with him, but so we can kind of have a fresh start. But I always say, I just feel like my style is, I hate to say it, a little better. So
different.
Yeah.
Of course you like your style better.
I like my
because
style
it's your style. It's your style, right? I'm here to defend you. Okay.
I know everyone is so hard on him when it comes to this, but yeah,
but
that was our biggest challenge. Moving, like I said, I never lived with a man before. I never lived with anybody outside of going from my mother's home to my own home with him. I never had to compromise anything. It's always been what I wanted, how I wanted it to be. Now, when you go and you live with somebody, now it's about that shared space. And that was hard. I'll let you go. But one of the things that we struggled with was closet space. And the fact that he did have a walk-in closet, small walk-in closet that had all of his stuff in it, and it left me no place to put my stuff. And I remember actually crying about not having space. We ended up, which I'm a person who will cry and get upset, but then solve. Like I just need to be upset for a minute, and then I'll be like, oh, how about we take that other bedroom that we're not using and make it into a closet? Like that's what we did. We took a bedroom, I made it into my walk-in closet and like my personal Zen space, like my space where I could go shut the door and just kind of chill out, which actually was a great solve. He got to keep his closet, and
that worked out great.
Yeah, but the rest of the decor of the house is really all of his furniture that I can't wait until we move.
Okay. Well, for us, it worked out great because this beautiful house that we're in, Thomas actually surprised me with it. It was funny because a lot of women would have been happy. I was not happy. Like, I remember when we came, this was just a dirt-filled land all over here, this whole community right here. We were looking at homes. And then we decided that we were going to wait. He was in an apartment and I was with Tanika and them. And then we were talking about it. We was talking about the money. We still, we hadn't really made a full decision. And then all of a sudden, Thomas kept asking me a bunch of questions. Like, I remember when we went to look at the model home and we were doing all these things. And then he said, and I told Tanika, I said, if I didn't know any better, I would say that he buying a house without me. She's like, no way in the world he would do that. I was like, no way, we were engaged. Who would do that if you're engaged to someone, go buy a house without telling that person, right? So then one day, maybe months later, he tells me we're going to somewhere and I'm like, where are we going? I'm trying to figure out where we're going because I really knows. I'm in the car. I'm always questioning, why are we going this way? Why are we doing this? And I look in the back and I see some flowers and I see something like a basket. And I'm like, what's that? Well, I guess that's the basket they gave him when he closed. But he didn't know how to explain it. So he said something weird. So then now my antennas are going crazy, right? And I'm like, what? So then he drives up and I remember the area and I'm like, oh, we built those houses. And then he pulled in the driveway and he said, welcome to your home. And I'm like, what? And I was excited, but I was confused.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I was really, and I could not get over my feelings of feeling like, how could you? Mm-hmm. And everybody said, why are you not happy? I'm like, what? Because who does that?
That's a huge decision to make.
That's it. Yes. So everything in it, he did not, I had nothing to do with it. But later we realized, I remember all the calls about how would your closet? So if you go upstairs in our bedroom, everything he did, most of the things he did it with me in mind. Mm-hmm. And I remember back to those calls and those conversations, and I have a closet to die for, right? Mm-hmm. He that was all for me because he could have chose a different. He's like, but I knew you needed this really big closet, and he did all these things. I would have chosen some different colors, the whatever, the flooring, where outlets would. I would have. I built a house before, and so I learned. You know how you learn from your first one, and there was a lot of things, but it was really funny. It was cute later, but I was mad. I actually took my engagement ring off. I was really mad, and I was like, "How could you do that?" And I just felt like I should have been a part of that. And it was like one of those things where it's like, but I'm giving you a house.
Yeah.
Welcome to our house. And I'm like, what? But, here we are. But I will say everything inside is all done by me. I mean, I had all my furniture at the time in storage and all that. So we brought it out. Some things he didn't like, some things he did like. But he didn't have much of any type of furniture, so it didn't matter. And then even when it came to the furniture, he was like, here's the money, go get a bedroom set. Here's the money, go do this. Here's the money, go do that. So I still chose everything. He's not into that little things. Like he traveled the world and have a lot of pictures. It's not my cup of tea. And it's really funny if you ever come to our home is, my sister liked to say, is Asia meets Africa.
It's very Asian inspired.
It's Asian, and African. If you go in the other room, it's African.
This is the Asian room right now.
Well, this is because I lived in Japan.
Yeah, no.
And all this comes from Japan. And then, so it's really funny. And we picked out our first set of furniture together over in the family room now. And then the furniture in the basement, I picked that all out too. And then I think we picked out the theater room furniture together. I mean, like he was against what I wanted at first. And then when I showed him, he was like, okay. It's been pretty interesting. Yeah. But yeah, blending is interesting because our styles are just totally different. But he's one that he's not that big into it. So it doesn't matter to him.
No, I feel like it's going to matter. So I feel like that is going to be a challenge. But as we begin to kind of wrap this up, what advice would you give to someone in their 40s and 50s or beyond who feel like marriage has passed them by?
Well, I believe at any stage you can be blessed with finding a partner that's going to really, I say, complement your life, add to your life. And the main thing is, I think at this age that when you find someone that you really have an open heart and open mind. You really got to be open to what's going to work best for the both of you, right? Because that's a mindset that you have to change. It's no longer about what you want, especially, I was a very independent woman. And so having to think about and put someone else first, I'm not going to say it was a challenge, but because I had been married before and I knew all the mistakes I had made, I knew the things that I wish I had not done. I'm very careful and mindful to not do them in this relationship. So really, I think when you're older, you're really able to reflect on relationships and what worked and didn't work, and really knowing who you are and what you really want and what your non-negotiables are, and being able to communicate and work on making sure that you guys both can communicate. I think that is the key. It's just trying to see how we can blend our lives, because it's about blending and give and take, right? And it's not, people always say, oh, you give 50%, I give 50%. It's not even that way. You know what? I don't even think you can.
You can't quantify it.
I don't think you can. I don't think you can say 80-20 or anything. One, you might be giving 100 or 90% in the one area, and you both have, and I think it's seasons and swings and life. You know, you got work, you got everything that's going on now. How do you juggle that? How do you juggle the stress that he has at work and the stress that you might have at work, or, you know, the decisions you all make? Are you going to be a stay at home? Are you, you're going to work? I work a lot, right? And it's funny, I think it works for Thomas and I because he is such a hard worker too, in a different kind of way, that he's okay with me working really hard, the hours that I keep. Like, I play a lot of tennis, I do a lot of things. Like, even for our anniversary, we are going away for tennis. I have a tennis tournament and I really want to go. And so I said, we're going to celebrate. He said, well, thanks. I got to tag along with you for tennis to celebrate our anniversary. But he's willing to do that. And I was like, okay, so next year, I knew he wanted to go to Hawaii, but I wanted to do this. And people probably said, you chose tennis over Hawaii? And I said, let's go back to Hawaii next year. So next year, we'll go back to Hawaii for our anniversary. So again, it's about, I think you just got to really be open. You got to really know yourself, and you got to be willing to compromise.
Yeah. What advice would I give someone? I would say that don't believe, if you do want to get married and if you're someone who still wants to get married in your 40s, 50s or beyond, is that I don't think that looking at it as it's passed you by. I think that God has a plan, and sometimes it's what is the plan? Maybe it is to be married, or it's not, but I think it's always important to have other things that fulfill you in your life. And I think sometimes that can help bring things to you. I would say that a lot of the reason why I waited so long to get married is because there were so many things about me that I needed to make sure was right for marriage. And I wasn't, I wasn't right. I wouldn't have made, I honestly, I don't believe I would have made a good wife at 40. You know, I think that I needed to grow, develop, heal in some areas before becoming a wife in my 50s and being a good wife. Maybe I could have got married at 40 and somehow, but I just don't believe I was ready for that at that time to be a good wife. I could have been a wife, but I don't know if I would have been a very good wife. I think that it's just about assuring that you are healed. You know, we're not perfect. There's still things, but just feeling more aware of yourself and being really true to who you are, so that you're prepared to be a good wife or to be a good, God knew I never thought I would be a stepmother. Like, you know, all those things that I don't think I would have been very good at 10 years ago.
I would say, I mean, I don't think I would be the wife I am today if I hadn't gone through the things that I've gone through. And I, you know, I'm an open book, and I've gone through a lot. And I believe that everything that I've gone through served a purpose in my life to get me where I am now today, to have my mind the way that I have it, and to view marriage the way I view it now, and how I love and how I show up in my marriage. The other thing that's really critical too is like your career goals and ambitions, how you balance that with partnership, right? Because sometimes I know a lot of women, like, they don't like a very ambitious man because he's always out there trying to get the next deal or do whatever. And then a man can be threatened by a woman who's very career driven and or risk taker, meaning in business or in life in general. So balancing all of that is just like by the time you're at this age, I think you're a little bit more subtle about who you are, what you are, and what's priority. And those things can be important in managing the expectations from family and culture and religion and all that kind of stuff. Like you're kind of set to know what you want. Like I said, I think it's very important that when you find that person, I mean, you say like, has it passed me by? And it's to me better to not have get married and be with someone and be miserable than to wait for the right person to come and the right situation to present itself. That I think that's the key. Really, I think it really is the key to especially being at the age that we're at. And like you said, and being, at this point, you're probably going to be a step parent to some degree. Thomas has 3 grown daughters, but when I first met him, they were 8, 10, and 12. And now they are 23, 25, and 27. And it's kind of hard to believe. And they're beautiful young ladies, all college educated, which those were some of his goals. When I met him, he told me the most important thing to him was to put his girls through college. And he's successfully done that. And I think one is about to go to law school. But that was something that was really, really important to him. And I watched him struggle. And the struggle was real to make sure that he was able to do that for them.
Yeah.
And then and it's kind of funny because I have one child and she's grown, and to see their relationship and see how he thinks about her. And like for Father's Day, she reached out and wanted to take him out for dinner, and we took him out for dinner, and I think she called him Pop. And she loves that. And he loves it. It's really cute to see their relationship. And so it's just I think, again, the timing, I think it's just right. It's right for her. I've gone through a lot with her and her not liking someone that I dated or things like that. But to have her really care about him and reach out on her own. And like, I think she sent us a text or something to tell us that, she really cares, like how much she cares and loves us. And that meant a lot to me. And for her to include him in that text about how she felt about him, it meant a lot to him.
Yeah. So any last minute thoughts?
Yeah. Let's see. I think, again, just embracing who you are and just knowing you're wonderful the way you are, whether you're married or not. I think that's important. I think some people get caught up on marriage and think they have to be married.
Yep.
But if you are living your life and you're in a healthy relationship or not in a relationship because you by choice, I think it's okay.
It's okay.
Marriage is not for everyone. And marriage is not always easy either, trust me.
Oh, yeah.
It's really what 2 people make of it.
Yeah. It's a work, but it's a work that I love because I
love relationships. I love knowing that you got someone.
Yeah.
Like, even with us in health challenges, like as you get older, like knowing that you got someone who's going to be there to help you and take care of you. Because at this age, I have a lot of older aunts and uncles because both of our parents are deceased, but they're getting older and stuff. And just knowing that someone is there to help take care of you and be there with you and see you through all those things, through your health challenges and stuff. That's, I don't know. It's beautiful too. So if you're not open to it, be open to it. Just allow God to guide you
that's what I would say.
In whatever direction he chooses to take you.
So this was a good conversation.
It was.
Yes.
I hope we weren't too lengthy in it, but you can tell that it's dear to our heart and it's fresh and new to us. And like I said, I'm approaching my 1-year anniversary and she's at 2 months. So
2-month anniversary.
You hear it straight from the horse's mouth, right? How it is to be married in your later years.
Yes. So I want to thank everyone for listening to Seasoned and Unbothered. Please share your midlife love story with us in the comments below. We would love to hear what your stories are and what your thoughts are on this topic. And until next time, stay seasoned and unbothered.
Yes.
Bye.
See you. Bye.
Bye.
See you. Bye.